We are already experts on the type of forests that we have here in Pennsylvania, which are deciduous forests and coniferous forests. These forests go through different seasons. We have them locally here. They have deciduous trees and coniferous trees, and they have lots of different plants and animals in their ecosystem. Deciduous means to change color in autumn and to fall in the winter, which describes what happens to trees in a deciduous flatleaf forest. Coniferous forests have cones instead of flowers. They need to be protected for future generations because they're very important to our environment. What we haven't really learned about are rainforests. And the reason we don't really learn about rainforests that much at 7 Gen is because we don't have a rainforest here to visit. It's really important for us to stay local, right? And to connect our learning to our local ecosystems. But I thought it would be kind of cool today to learn about rainforests also and compare and contrast how a rainforest is alike and different from the forests that we have here in Pennsylvania. Only 2% of the Earth's surface area is covered by rainforests. That's not very much at all. 2% of the whole globe, very small amount. In this tiny portion though, so if you have the world is this big and only this much is rainforests, in this big of a space, you will find 50% of the world's plants and animals. The Amazon rainforest is the largest in the world. What's the same about a rainforest and a Pennsylvania forest? Well, they're both forests. They both have layers. They both have ecosystems that have living and non-living parts, and they both need water and sunlight to survive. What's different about them? One thing that's different are the types of animals. So the coniferous forest has animals that you're pretty familiar with because that's our forest that's here at home. Some animals that live in these types of forests are mammals such as grizzly bears, reptiles, and amphibians, tree frogs, snakes, birds such as a bald eagle, arthropods like beetles and ants, plants, flowers, mosses, and fungi. The rainforest has a whole different host of animals. They have more than half of the animal population in the world, just in that 2% of the whole planet. Some animals that live there are insects such as the monarch butterfly, mammals like jaguars and monkeys, birds like a toucan. Animals living in the tropical forests are fish that live in streams and rivers like a piranha and a reptile, an anaconda and an amphibian like a tree frog. So some of the types of animals might be similar, like we both have birds and we both have frogs, but very different types of birds and frogs. The other thing that's different is the location and climate. The climate in tropical forests is very hot and humid. The temperature can go from 34 Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius with very high humidity. It also has a very high level of rainfall every year. Tropical rainforests are located near the equator in places like Africa, South America, parts of Asia, and the islands of Asia and Australia. They are very dense, very warm, and very wet. Coniferous forests are different. They go from about negative 40 in the winter to 30 in the summer in Celsius, with only 30 to 90 centimeters of rain that falls each year. What is a rainforest anyway? So we've learned about the similarities and differences. Let's get a really good definition of a rainforest. A rainforest is a large area of land with a very wet and tropical climate. Rainforests can receive more than 100 inches of rain per year. A rainforest is home to many unique species of both plants and animals. As you go through the rest of our presentation today, friends, you're going to get to go on a virtual field trip to visit all these different rainforests. You can see here that there's not very many rainforests over the whole planet, right? There's just a few. Here's the biggest one, the Amazon rainforest over here. Tropical rainforests are located all over the world on 5 of the 7 continents. Most of them are located near the equator where the climate is hot and humid. Click on these links and you can learn some more things about the different rainforests and see some pictures. Here you're going to learn about the layers of the rainforest. If you click on this picture, you'll see that a link comes up where it talks to you about the layers. After you're done learning about the layers, you can drag the layers over. Whoops, Control Z, Alt is your friend, right? You can learn about the layers of the forest by dragging and telling me where the understory, canopy, forest floor, and the emergent layer are on the picture. So you can drag those right over. Here, you're going to learn about the forest floor layer. So the bottom layer of the forest is called the forest floor. Very little sunlight reaches the forest floor because of the thick layers above it, so it is very dark and humid. The forest floor is mostly covered in tree trunks. Many seeds, nuts, fruits, twigs, and branches can also be found on the forest floor. These things help the soil become very rich and filled with nutrients as they decompose or break down into the soil. Many animals live on the forest floor. Click on the name of each animal to learn about its life in the rainforest. So if you click on one of the animals, you'll be able to see a slideshow with some cool pictures, and maybe you can read a little bit about that too. Okay. Oops. All right, moving right along, we have the understory. Above the forest floor in a rainforest is the understory layer. The understory has bushes, shrubs, vines, and small trees. This layer of the rainforest also receives very little sunlight and is also very humid. Some trees in the understory will grow tall enough to become part of the next layer, which is the canopy. Many insects live in the understory and can survive year-round because of the consistent climate. Click the blue morpho butterfly to learn more about insects of the rainforest. Okay, so here we have another link here, and it's going to take you to see about, whoa, look how cool, all of these different insects in the rainforest. So you can click on that. The canopy layer contains the majority of the rainforest's species. The canopy layer is more than 100 feet above the forest floor and has many tall trees that act like a roof above the layers below. Animals that can fly and glide from tree to tree are found in the canopy layer, such as birds, monkeys, tree frogs, and lizards. These animals eat many fruits, leaves, and nuts found in the canopy layer. During the day, the canopy layer is the hottest part of the rainforest. The large leaves of the canopy trees receive a lot of sunlight to help them use photosynthesis to produce food and provide energy to the rainforest. Now we have a new layer that we didn't really talk about with our local forest, although it is a layer. Second grade doesn't spend as much time talking about the emergent layer. That is the tippy top of the tree. So pretend you were a bird flying above the trees. You would look down and you would see that emergent layer. Because of their height, the trees often suffer from harsh sunlight, strong winds, and great changes in hot and cold temperatures. Since the trees can only support lightweight animals, typical animals in the emergent layer would be birds, insects, and small monkeys. If you click this bird right here, it's going to take you on an aerial tour of a rainforest. Very cool. So you can click on there. And this is this last slide right here. I want to know one new thing you learned about rainforests. Which layer of the rainforest would you like to most visit and why? And why is it important to protect the world's rainforests? And remember, rainforests are only 2% of the whole planet, but have 50% of the planet's animals. So think about that. With such a small footprint on the earth, right? It's housing all those important animals that need that climate to survive. Those animals can't just survive anywhere, right? We couldn't bring a toucan and ask it to survive in one of our deciduous forests. It wouldn't work. It doesn't have the right climate. So just think about that as you're answering these questions today. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed your virtual field trip. Have a great day.